Well, hey, I'm Matt Garrettson. I work here at the Bobby Jones Pub. My specialty is making soup, and today I'm going to demonstrate one of my favorite soups for everyone. It's the roasted red bell pepper and smoked Gouda Bisque. This is a classic soup. It's got a old world, new world fusion going in that peppers are a new world vegetable. They were not part of the history of vegetables in Europe. That was something that was discovered during the age of colonialism and brought to Europe. They became wildly popular, but the Gouda cheese that we're using is a classic Dutch cheese that they've been making since the 15th century all over Holland, as well as the town of Gouda itself. And this is one of the soups that I've written a recipe for that I hope to include in a book that we're going to offer this holiday season. So it's going to be 18 great recipes to mirror the 18 holes of the golf course, and I hope that everyone enjoys this book as much as I've enjoyed writing it, because it has been a thrill writing these recipes and getting it all together, and I hope everyone's excited as I am. So let's take a look at roasted red bell pepper and smoked Gouda Bisque. We're going to start off by roasting the red bell pepper. I thought it would be important to show everybody how this is done. It's not a technique that everyone's going to know how to do at home, but you can do it at home. You just need a strong open flame. You can do it on a grill or the open flame of your stove if you have a gas stove, or if you have a broiler, you could put the pepper in under the broiler. What we're looking to do is char this pepper. Now we just want to char the outer skin until it's black. You don't want it to be ashy or burnt. And once that's charred, then we just seal the pepper up in a bowl and it'll steam itself, and then you can just peel the peels right off. Here I have the finished charred pepper. So this is what it should look like when it's done. And you see the skin is all blackened, it's starting to pull away. It's been sitting in here steaming for about 15 minutes, and so now we're all ready to get it peeled. And to peel it, really all you need to do is just kind of gently massage the skin, and the burnt bits should just fall away. And then what I like to do is I like to keep a bowl of water or maybe a running tap of water around so I can just rinse the little bits off of my fingers when they start to stick a little bit. And so you just peel it all away. You don't have to be super precious about it. A few little bits in there will be great flavor for your soup. And then you also want to open up the pepper and kind of get rid of almost all these seeds. This isn't a spicy pepper, so you don't have to worry about things getting crazy and spicy. And just get rid of all the seeds and all the peel and everything. And this is your finished pepper, ready to go for soup, and then you'll just want to dice that up. You can even give it a little rinse if you'd like. And then I'll just show you again with this second pepper. It's really a simple, rustic technique. Again, this is a New World technique. Our Mesoamerican and Mexican friends invented this idea of charring and peeling the peppers. It just gives them such great flavor. It concentrates the flavor of the pepper itself and gives it that smoky grilled flavor. So it's a technique that everyone should be used to using. There we go. We've got the peppers peeled, and now we can begin to build the soup. So the first step you're going to want to do to get this soup going is you're going to want to heat your pot over medium heat. And then you're going to add your butter. This butter is just regular whole butter, cubed up and ready to go. And it'll get in that pot, it'll start melting. And as that gets melting, we can go ahead and add our mirepoix. Mirepoix is just a fancy French term for carrots, celery, and onions. And we'll go ahead and toss that in the pot and get those stirring around. And what you want to do is just get those slightly coated with the butter in there. Yep. And then a secret chef trick to helping expedite this process is a little pinch of salt. What this process is called sweating the vegetables. What we're trying to do is heat the vegetables up to get them to release their liquid. And then that liquid will evaporate and those flavors will concentrate, and the onions, carrots, and celery will take on a little bit of mellow sweetness before we start to build the bigger part of the soup. Now the next step, once we've got our vegetables sweated, and you want to do that, you'll know things are sweaty, the liquid will be released and the onions will become translucent. Then the next step after that is you're going to want to bloom your garlic. Now again, these are all techniques that I talk about that I'll be talking about in the book. Things like sweating, blooming, they're all going to be covered in the book under tools and techniques. So I've added the garlic. Now you'll know the garlic has bloomed. You just want to stir that in. Give it about 30 seconds and you'll smell it. Just feel the aromatic garlic will just rise in a cloud, and you'll know you're there. All right. Once you've got your vegetables sweated, your garlic bloomed, we can go ahead and add our tomato paste. Now what you want to do with the tomato paste is you want to clear a little well in the center of the pot. See, I've cleared out right in the center there. Add that tomato paste in there. Then you want to get that back over heat, spread in the tomato paste. And what we're looking for is to just slightly caramelize this tomato paste. So we'll let it sit there for a few seconds, and you don't want it to blacken because it'll get bitter, but you do want just a little bit of browning. The French call it pince, and what that is it's a caramelization of the tomato paste. Just really increases the flavor and just helps everything kind of come together. Now once you've got everything to kind of pince together, go ahead and stir the tomato paste in with the vegetables and stay over medium heat. And then we're going to add our herbs. Here we have thyme, basil, oregano, tarragon, and just a little bit of cayenne pepper. 1/8 of a teaspoon, it's all you need. You just want to create a little bit of warmth on the palate. It doesn't need to be a spicy soup. I'll go ahead and put in just a couple of teaspoons of brown sugar. We may add more brown sugar later when we season the soup. And we'll get all that stirred in. Again, you'll want that to bloom. You'll smell kind of the volatile compounds from the herbs rising up. Oh yeah, starting to smell that basil and oregano. And in case, if anything starts sticking in your pot, that's when you'll want to get out your little bit of sherry that you have. And so in case you have a little bit of stickage on the bottom, we can do what now is called deglazing. And we'll add in that sherry, and that will just melt anything that has stuck to the bottom of the pot. Our French friends would call, when you have flavorful bits stuck to the bottom of the pot, they call that a fond. And it's from the same French word as foundation. And it is kind of the foundation of flavor in many soups. So developing and maintaining a fond can be an important step. Now we're gonna add our roasted red bell peppers that I've peeled and chopped up. In they go. And we have our diced potatoes here. I keep them in water so they don't discolor and oxidize. And I'll just pour that water off real quick. And in they go. We give that a quick stir in. All right, now we're to the exciting step of, we're gonna add our stock. This is 2 quarts of chicken stock. It doesn't have to be warm. I just had it on the stove, keeping it warm. Kind of speed things along. And get everything stirred together, and then we're gonna wanna set that over the heat and just let that come up to a nice boil, and then reduce the heat to a simmer and let it go, probably a half an hour, 20 minutes. It's really until the potatoes are soft. So while you're waiting for your soup to come up to a simmer, or come up to a boil, then we reduce it to a simmer, we're gonna build the sachet. The sachet is like a tea bag filled with all sorts of flavorful goodies that you want in your soup, but you don't want running around loose in the soup. So what I have here is some parsley, some thyme, some bay leaves, black peppercorns, and coriander seeds. And these are just things, they're all just good aromatics that I don't want loose in the soup, so we'll contain them in this handy little sachet. First I tie a slip knot on the end, sort of like a lasso. And then I'm gonna lay out the cheesecloth. I want the cheesecloth doubled, so it's in 2 layers. I'll just put everybody here in the center of the cheesecloth. Get all of our little seeds in there. Pull the corners together. Gather our little tea bag down there. There's our little lasso ready to go. We just pull that tight. Give a little cinch up there. I go around 3 or 4 times, snag it with my finger, make a little loop there. And this I just tie good old-fashioned overhand knots. Do about 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're all good to go. I'm gonna reach for a scissors here. We'll cut off this tail, and in the soup, it goes. In it goes, and then we'll just remove that before blending. All right, here's our built soup, ready to be blended. As you can see, it's going at a nice, even simmer. It's been going for about a half an hour. The potatoes have softened. Good way to tell, you can get in there with your finger and push on the potato and see if it crumbles. We're ready to go with blending. Now for our blending step, we're gonna wanna have our heavy cream and our Gouda cheese ready. Because this is the key. This is how you'll emulsify the cream and the cheese into the soup. And this is kind of the magic moment. So fill the pitcher of your blender up no more than halfway. And then add, maybe a couple tablespoons of cream. And a handful of this tasty smoked Gouda cheese. And then we'll go ahead and blend that on high for, 30 seconds or a minute. Always start your blender at the lowest setting and work up. So I started on low. I'm going to turn it up towards high. And then let it rip at full strength. Now you'll see this is kind of where all the magic happens. Now we have this creamy, silky smooth soup. Now I'm gonna put it through this fine blender. It's important that we talk about this for a second. This blender, or this, strainer. The strainer is called a chinois. In French, that means Chinese. It probably refers to the conical hats that French colonials would have seen Chinese and Vietnamese people wearing in Southeast Asia in the 1800s. And it's a fine mesh strainer, and this is one of the keys to getting luxuriously silky soups. And so we put it through our friend the chinois, and that will catch any little bits of seed or what have you that would just keep the soup from being as silky and num-nums as we want it to be. So then you just take a little ladle and kind of tap down through, and that'll just push everything right through. All right, here we have our finished soup, ready to be seasoned. It has a really nice, thick, rich consistency, and I think you're really gonna enjoy this soup. It's always popular in the Bobby Jones pub. So the first thing I'll always do is I just grab a little cup or a bowl, and I get myself a pretty good taste of the soup, because I need to swish it all around in my mouth so it's hitting all of my taste buds and sensory areas, so I just know what's going on with the soup. So I pour a little bit out, I get a look at it. Looks great. Get a smell. Blow on it. And then down the hatch. We are just shy. What we have here is salt, brown sugar, white pepper, and sherry vinegar. Since there's already sherry in the soup, I chose sherry vinegar as the acid component for this because they'll match up and it's just gonna make everything excellent. So we'll just get in there with a little bit of salt, little bit of brown sugar, pinch of white pepper, and maybe just a couple of teaspoons of sherry vinegar. And I think that's gonna be all we need for this soup. I'll get it stirred in there. Sure does smell good. I think we did something right here, guys. We'll give it another little taste using my patented tasting method. Oh boy, that is the one. That is the one. That's good soup, people. So what we'll do then is we're gonna show you how to plate and garnish this. Now there's all sorts of things you can do to garnish it, but this is just a real simple suggested garnish. So we'll ladle our soup into our soup bowl. Oh, it's looking good, looking good. Then I think a great garnish for this soup is just a simple grind of black pepper and a few little chives. Just doot, 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 doot. And that's your roasted red bell pepper and smoked Gouda Bisque. East, West, Old World, New World fusion. That's a great recipe. I hope everyone enjoys it. It's going to be available in the book, hopefully this holiday season. All right. Thank you so much for your time.